but I'm wicked, and the wicked always wins. And then my second favourite line is when Miss Lana Paella says, "What do you think this is? The Wild West?" "No, dear, it's the Wicked West." That's my second favourite, and then obviously, like, my jam is oops. I like when I got to say, "I'll sleep with the trolls in the afterlife." Something to look forward to. And always anything about lasagna or meatloaf.
I just like to yell. I don't care what I say.
Incoming! Yeah, I love that.
That's the only one for me. Just yell, whatever. You don't need a mic. Just do it.
I just like to fawn over the Queen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Peter Pan never fails.
Gosh, I really should have thought this through.
What have you said in the past, Sean?
I have a really bad memory. I think one of the first lines I said was, "I bow, but this quiver's a little tight." I thought that was a bit like a kind of a James Bond kind of line. So that was kind of cool. But there was also a line that I said to Lana, and I said it in one world and then in the other world. And does anyone else remember it? Because I can't. I wouldn't dream of it. That was it. And it was kind of nice to be able to say it in one world and then say it in the other. And I think she says, "Have we met before?" or something like that. So that was kind of nice, playing that sort of echo from one world or one reality to the other. So that was kind of. I like Robin when we're in the throne room and you're going to go on the mission to help break in, and you're talking about liking her ass or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorite bits. I was like, the two of you guys, we're all embarrassed for you too. It's like a private moment.
I think I said something like, she says, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm saving your ass." And then there was another line, and I think it got cut. And I said something like she's got a nice ass. Or
Yeah.
something. When I read it, I was like, they can't say this in once upon a time.
It was like, my favorite part was the way it was written. It was like, boom, ba boom, your ass, fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us just going like, was the moment, this is awkward.
I know.
Clumsily flirting with Lana in front of other superheroes. But yeah, I think we're all blessed. We have terrific. They are terrific writers.
It's
on the
always,
show.
yeah. I mean, listen, in all these shows that really turn you on, that turn into this whole fandom thing. Make no mistake, Shakespeare had it right. The play's the thing. I mean, we can elevate some material, but to really like hit the zenith, to really elevate the show, it's got to be well written. Okay, and especially like, because you got to know this, that drama is like cooking. Okay, drama's like cooking. You might like your steak medium well, I might like it medium rare. But comedy is a very scientific process like baking. You have to have the exact amount of baking powder to get a chemical reaction. So the fact that these guys are doing both comedy and drama at the same time takes a lot of talent to balance it, to get the right amount of words into, say, my funny one-liners or Granny's one-liners. But it's got to have a rhythm. And that's what you react to. And that's what we react to when we read it. We start to feel the rhythms of the characters and that's where the magic happens. And that's what sets up all this fandom. That's what sets us up, all of us. The play is the thing. Especially television, you need 22 great scripts. So the writing team starts and ends the whole process. And that's why the writers and producers run television. Okay?
You hear.
One over here.
Hi. Oh, wow, that's really loud. First, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here. It was really cool seeing you guys. My question is for all of you. What was your favorite, like, behind-the-scenes moment of being or running the show?
So many. Literally every day was filled with incredible memories for me.
I had a funny moment. It was one of the I think it was the first scene that I shot with Josh and Ginny, and it was the first time I was with kind of the whole gang. And the line was, I was saying to Charming and Snow, they said, "Can you take us to Sherwood Forest?" And I said, "Yes, I can take you there. We have food and shelter." And then Josh says, "Do you have weapons?" And I say, in the script it said, we're lousy with them. Now, I didn't understand, so I went to one of the producers and said, because I'm Robin Hood, I'm supposed to be quite good with weapons, aren't I? Lousy means, the Old English version means to be loused, to be many of, to have a lot of. And I was like, right. But you know, when you say lousy, most of us assume bad. So, and I said, well, that might not kind of come across, but the writers are very particular. They want you to say it exactly as it's written. We don't mess around with the lines. We're very strict to it. But so every time I said this, I kind of kept giggling, and then Josh started giggling, and then Lance started giggling, and it took us about 10 takes to get it right, because he would say, do you have weapons? And I'd go, well, lousy with them. Just like, well, then why are we coming with you? But if you see the episode back, I think it just cuts away from us, because we're all like, but that really stuck in my head as a giggly moment.
Yeah, you just One funny moment that happened to me was like I asked to do all my own stunts when I was working with my broomstick. Like they hired somebody and dressed her up in green, but I'm like, I want to do it. It's my stick. So you know, it takes a long time to get me up into the sky and rigged up harness and all that jazz. And we'd done it a couple of times, and it was my coverage. So I'm swooping through the sky, and like I had to like jump off the broomstick at the end and then continue talking. So I went through the air, came off, jumped down, everyone's in the scene, and I get off, and I'm like, I have no idea what my line is. I through all this, I'm like, oh, bollocks. Take me all the way back up again. But behind the scenes stuff on the show, I think the best behind the scenes stuff is that, you know, when you work in TV and film, most of our time is sat sitting around tweeting with you, and or going and getting a cup of tea or whatever. But they always put the actors together and they put all the chairs together, and we have so much fun doing nothing. So when we're waiting to like hang out and do the scenes, we sit around and we chat, we hang out, we put our feet up, and that is one of my most favourite things about being on Once Upon a Time, is just spending time with everybody else having a cup of tea. It's just such special moments that you'll just treasure forever. You just reminded me of my harness experiences online. I think episode 8 I did a lot of flying action. So I was in there was a studio 5 just dedicated to green screen. So that's when they did all the sort of stunt harnessy stuff. And I remember there was this one shot where they had to get me to land on this pad, but for some reason it was quite a small pad, so I kind of had to like aim the landing right. So they had this guy you guys might have seen a picture online or whatever. There's this guy like in a full-on green mask, and all you can see is his little eye like cut out. But he looks like he's trying to blend in with the background, but not quite working. So he's behind me, like sort of like controlling the harness, so I can get brought down all right. And then there's like wind in my face and all that stuff. I'm supposed to land really gracefully, and every single time I tried it, it was an absolute shambles. Like I'd always like miss the mark or like crash into the mat. And it was right at the end of the day, so everyone was sort of like, "Hey, we gotta go home." It's like we've been working a long time, and I'm like, "Sorry, I'm trying to get it right." But at the same time, they were all having such a big laugh at it because I just looked so stupid. I had the full costume on and I was flying, I was like, oh, whatever, it's pretty fun. And then every time I was just like crashing into the ground. And when we finally got it right, everyone like cheered and was like, you did it, you did it. I was like, right, let's go home. Let's go home. We're done. Then it took me 20 minutes to get my harness off.
One of my favorite moments was in Red Handed, when we were filming that one, and being up on the top of the mountain in the mist. It felt like we were in Narnia. It was so beautiful. And so just being there just felt like we are in Magic Land. So I loved that. And just adding on to Rebecca's story about sitting around and doing nothing. One night we filmed till about 5:30 in the morning. And usually if we're not in a scene, you can go back to your trailer and rest in your trailer for a while. But for some reason they kept us, we were filming in Steveston in Storybrooke, and they kept us in the little room there that they have. And we were there for like hours and not being used. And there was Robert Carlyle and Emily and like Tinkerbell was there, tons of cast members. And so we all made little beds on the floor, and people like would fall asleep and like literally get blankets and curl up, and then you'd wake up and have this, you know, kind of sleepy conversation. It felt like we were having a sleepover. You know, somebody would wake up and go, I'm gonna go get tea, do you want some? Yeah, and they'd come back, and so finally at 6 in the morning, and we filmed our scene and then went home, but it felt like, yeah, see you tomorrow. I felt like we all kind of slept together that night.
I remember that night. That was when we shot that scene that was the showdown of Wicked versus Evil.
It was that night.
And it took us all night just to shoot that one scene.
Yes.
There's so many stunts in it, and we did wrap at 6 o'clock in the morning. Everybody napped but me.
Yeah, you were working all night.
And I was sick as a dog when I did that episode. I had like walking pneumonia, and I'm like in the street, and there's Bobby Carlisle with his thumb in his mouth having a nap.
I know.
And he's like this. I'm like, no, you all relax. I'll just go back outside and shoot the scene. Everybody napped but me. I know.
People would come in and go, shh, we're sleeping. Actually, we're working.
I know, it's so funny.
Question over here.
Yes, my question is for Lee. From the first season, my favorite backstory episode was the dreamy, grumpy, and blue backstory and their forbidden romance. And I was very disappointed that when they found out who they were, that they never pursued that relationship, and was wondering what your feelings were on that.
I messed it up, dude. I messed it up with her, because you gotta let the woman choose her definition of happy.